without any further ado, I want to introduce Corinne from OrCam, who's going to start us off. I'm going to start the timer. And are you all ready, Corinne, wherever you are?
I'm ready, yeah.
All right. And so welcome to everybody. We got a good number of folks here. Here we go, starting now.
Okay, well, thank you. As you mentioned, I am Corinne. I am one of the representatives from OrCam. I cover a big portion of the Midwest. Today, I'm going to give a brief overview of what OrCam is in case you haven't heard of it, and then I'm going to demonstrate our new device. So OrCam is an assistive technology company. We carry a wearable device and a handheld device. The main purpose of all of the OrCams is to read printed material aloud. So these could be really useful for somebody with a reading disability, with low vision, with blindness. It's really helping to make any situation a little bit more accessible. The main function, like I said, is to read printed material aloud. Every one of our devices has some different capabilities, which can hopefully meet your specific needs a little bit better. One of our devices, which is our wearable unit, is called the OrCam MyEye. It is a very small device, probably about the size of my index finger or maybe like a flash drive. And it clips onto any pair of glasses, right onto the leg of it. And this camera is just kind of positioned wherever your nose is pointing. It's going to be able to read any kind of print that's in front of you. It can identify faces, money, colors, products. And then there is a recent, maybe about 2 weeks ago, we released a What's in Front of Me feature that has been significantly enhanced. So it can provide scene description. And then our newest devices, including the OrCam MyEye Pro 3, can also be connected to a computer. It can magnify, it can translate, it can read handwriting. You can now save content with it. So there's been a lot of changes with the OrCam MyEye, but that is, again, our wearable device. The device that I'm really going to be demonstrating today is the OrCam Read 5. So this came out a few months ago, and it is very similar if anybody has familiarity with the OrCam Read. It's the same outer shell, but we do now have yellow buttons on there. So if you do have low vision, it is a little bit easier to see. But all of the buttons on the device are tactual. They're all shaped differently, so you don't need to see them to be able to use it. It's a really simple device, about the size of a large marker or box cutter, and it is handheld. So I'm going to kind of hold it in my hand like a pen. I'm going to point the tip of the pen at the reading content that I want to hear and press one button, and it's going to take that picture and read right back to me instantly. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that now. So I've got a sheet of paper here with just some information about the OrCam Read, varying sizes of print. All I'm going to do is I'm going to point my pen at the page, roughly about 12 inches away. If you can't see the page to point it, usually what I would have somebody do is, as you have it sitting on the table, you're going to kind of rest the device right about in the center of the page, and then just bring your arm up about 8 to 10 inches. It is a little bit flexible, so you don't have to be spot on with that camera. So I'm going to point it at my page. I'm going to take that picture, and then you're going to hear it aloud.
OrCam Read, discover the ultimate reading device. OrCam Read IE, an intuitive handheld device designed to create an independent, effortless and enjoyable reading experience for people with low vision and visual impairments, including reading difficulties related to age-related vision loss, 8. Mild to moderate low vision or ED.
Okay, so I press that same button again to stop it. If you let it finish, it'll just read all the way to the end of it. Just like most text-to-speech devices, I'm always going to have that ability to pause it and resume it. I could skip forward and I could skip backward too to hear something again. But overall, it's a really simple device to use. There is no internet capability or internet connection needed for the general reading that I just demonstrated. So you can pull this device out of the box, turn it on, point and click, and you've got text to speech right there. Where this is, and that's the same reading capabilities for just about any of our OrCams. Just take a picture, you hear it instantly right back. Because there's no Wi-Fi needed for that feature, it's not something that the user has to worry about. If you, let's say, go into a grocery store, it's going to work right off the bat. There's no fumbling with an internet connection, which is really nice. Where this Read 5 is very different from our previous versions of OrCam is this has a portable AI assistant, and this is really remarkable. It's honestly been a game changer for how it can make a user a lot more efficient. So the way that it works is all I have to do is download the OrCam app. I open the app. I turn my device on and have it nearby, and I have to select a pair button. Once I pair the device, I'm good to go. That's what gives my unit the AI assistant. So as long as my phone's nearby, it will work. And what that AI assistant will do, instead of taking the picture and hearing everything, I can wait till it's finished, or I can interrupt it and ask it specifically what I want to hear. So I'm going to use a menu as an example for this. The menu has 3 columns. There's a lot of text on this menu. So I can take a picture. It's going to read those columns. It's going to start with that left column, read all the way to the bottom, and then move to that center one, and then to the third one on the right. By the time it gets to that far right column, usually the user is going to lose interest. It's a lot of information. So the AI assistant is really great. I'm going to take the picture. You're going to hear it start to read. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down on that same button I used to take the picture. And I'm going to ask it what I want to hear. And it's going to let me interact with that text and give me detailed information about it. Same way I would talk to my friend if they were sitting right next to me and they were reading the menu for me. So I'm going to go ahead and take the picture.
Please wait.
Uh-oh. Hold on one second. I think I lost connection to my app here.
Assistant version 9 is ready. Battery is 88% charged. Cloud connected.
I'm going to turn my speaker back on here so you guys can hear it a little bit better. There we
With
go.
audio device JBL Go to connected. Appetizers. Onion blossom jumbo onion double dipped in our seasoned breading and fried to a
Is there seafood on the menu?
yes. The menu includes seafood such as pecan crusted catfish and breaded fried shrimp.
Okay, and now I can ask it another follow-up question. So I'm going to hold it down again. How is the catfish served?
The catfish is served pecan crusted, fried, and accompanied by homemade catfish sauce.
How much is the catfish?
Pecan crusted catfish is priced at $18.99 according to the menu.
So by the time that catfish is kind of listed in that center column at the bottom, by the time that reader would get there, it's giving that user so much information, especially in a restaurant. This was a lot more efficient to me to be able to just ask it specific questions, just like I would ask my friend. So no specific vocal commands, it's natural language. I just have to be holding down that button when I talk to it. As soon as I release my finger, it gives me that answer. I'm going to show you here with a bill too. This is a pretty complex bill. There is a kind of a chart right in the center that itemizes a list of products. So this works really great with a bill. I can ask it specifically what the total is, what the phone number is, how much am I being charged for tax, anything that I want to know without having to sit there and listen to the whole thing. So I'm going to take another picture here.
Invoice. Ted Jane Washington phone. 60s.
What's the total?
The total is $6,215.
Is there a phone number listed?
Yes. The phone number listed is $67.890, 1,234 for Ted Jane Washington.
Did not get that phone number right, but usually it's pretty spot on with those. So it's really able to interact with this content. I've tried it with a lot of like complex reading material too. And it's much easier to pull that information off with a question than to sit there and listen to everything and try and decipher it. One of the things that it can do really well is translate. It can translate portably. So it's got automatic detection. So I've got a document here that has, it's a description of the device in Spanish. If I take a picture in Spanish, it's going to read to me in Spanish, but I can always translate it if my preferred language is English.
OrCam Leer descubre el dispositivo de lectura definitivo. OrCam Read es un dispositivo.
Translate to English.
OrCam Read. Discover the ultimate reading device. OrCam Read is an intuitive portable device designed to create.
Okay, so just by asking it to translate, I could switch back and forth between languages as well portably. And all I am doing is just by pressing and holding one button down, I can talk to it. My phone is right next to me, so as long as the app is running in the background and nearby, that's what's giving my device the AI. So it's really, really simple to use. David, I cannot see your timer, but I know I'm probably getting pretty close, so I'm going to open it up for some questions. If anybody has any, I'll open it up.
You have about three minutes, and yeah, so if folks want to ask questions, there are a whole bunch of questions also, Corinne, in the chat area that you can answer after we're all finished here
Okay.
as well.
And I see a couple of them in the chat. I will answer those. Some of these are pretty common questions I know most people have. Yes, it can connect to headphones. All of our devices are Bluetooth compatible, so you can definitely connect it to Bluetooth. I have it connected to just a small speaker today, just so it's projecting it a little bit louder for you guys. But yeah, you can absolutely connect it to headphones, hearing aids as well. And that way the audio is going to go right to your earbud. Nobody around you is kind of hearing what the device is saying, which is really nice. Anybody else have questions right now?
There's one that says, how is it recognizing handwriting?
So handwriting, it's not doing it portably, but what our newer devices in it, this goes for the MyEye 3 or the Read 3 or Read 5, which are our newer devices. They all have the same ability to connect to a computer. When you connect it to a computer, it will magnify content too. So this device comes with like a tabletop stand. My device fits in on the top, and my document kind of rests right between the legs of the stand. So when I have it connected to my computer, it will magnify that content to the screen. But that's how I have to read handwriting, is I do have to connect it to the computer. It's not portable just yet, but it is, when it's connected to the computer, it is spot on. Every time I do a demo, somebody wants to test it and they write really sloppy and it picks it up every time. So it's really outstanding with handwriting, but you do have to connect it to the computer.
As something I forgot to say in the beginning, you guys can everybody can put your questions in the chat area, and Corinne will go back after she's finished here and answer as many as she can throughout the period, and so will the other presenters as well. Anything else, Corinne?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we've got different reps throughout the US, so we really try and We work with a lot of distributors. We really want people to have the opportunity to try out the device if it's something that you think might work for you. So we do have that ability. I'll leave my information in the chat as well. If anybody has additional questions, I'm happy to help.
Awesome. And if you could put a link in there to the website, people are asking for that as well.
Sure.
Corinne, thank you so much for that awesome presentation about the OrCam